nothing changes. Piper is still the same levels as Jane though, which is crazy to look at. Fuck you, Set. Set means fuck you. But someone is missing. It's Chingy. What happened to Chingy? The value for electric stunners, Chingy versus Trigger. Who's more valuable? What's up guys, Hyun here. So today we are gonna go and look at something again that is very controversial for some unknown reason. Pridewin Zenless on Zero tier list, or Pridewin itself very controversial for their tier list. I'm gonna say this right now, I'm gonna set the record straight. Let's be honest, Pridewin is a opinion based website. Like, it's full of like meta players picking what the tier list is, especially information that came from CCs and those math genius head and stuff. Okay, so us casual players cannot really say much or in a deeper level why they did it, and we can only see their opinion, of course, but we have the rights to have our opinion too, so we can debate the whole tier list. Okay, we can disagree and agree on the certain place of tier list, so we don't really need to fight or like freaking have a war on the comment section because of like your character sucks now, even though it's a fact that it sucks. I'm talking about you guys, Harumasa mains. Okay, Harumasa mains, I'm talking about you. But at the same time, we don't really have any better or like a general tier list that we can see, because I mean, I cannot go look at game 8 because I don't really trust game 8. I cannot really trust some sites. I can trust Pridewin because they have a good background, especially a lot of people or CCs knows about them, and they have a Discord channel where they really talk about the whole game itself. So let's calm down, okay? And also, like I did last time, I'm gonna look at this tier list without any bias. If I think a character sucks, I'm always gonna say the real thing if I think that character is sucks. That's why last time, like, even though Ellen is sucks, even though I like Ellen a lot, I know Ellen sucks, and I don't care if like the tier list is down, like she's down on the tier list. Okay, I'm not like you, Harumasa mains. I don't care. I'm not the Lulu. Okay, so I'm gonna be fair. But like, I'm gonna let the bias aside. Okay. And I hope you guys do it too, and let's have debates or on what you guys think on the tier list. Okay, without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so again, gonna remind you guys, disclaimer, this is a skill-based game where we have a lot of combat expression on the game. We can dodge, we can parry and stuff. And also, let's set this record straight for the optimal performance. I don't want to see this comment again like, Pridewin is not optimal, they are going optimal performance. We're gonna look at this tier list in another synonym of optimal, where most favorable. We're gonna look at the characters in the baseline of their performance where they are completing or defeating the endgame, which is mainly the shield defense. So we're gonna look at them under base or like favorable performance, because that's the synonym for optimal. Though yeah, you can debate that optimal is like the best, but it's a black and white, and there's also gray areas on this whole debating. So for now, we're just gonna think about this tier list as a, like the average gameplay of a Zenless Zero player. Okay, let's have that mindset. Okay, let's look at this tier list. Oh, first tier 0, I can already see Magol Trigger. My prediction is already right. I said this last time. If Trigger is managed to show how good she is, she will be in tier 0. I already said this because she has a lot on her kit where it just makes sense that she's tier 0, and she's probably gonna stay there for a long time. I don't know how long, but I hope she stays there a long time, because the aftershock mechanics is just too OP. And that's what I said also on like Pulcra. I hope Pulcra goes up also on like the future series, like I said last time in the other video. And I also hope Pulcra is, at least goes up one place. I'm very glad that Trigger is here. Though we have there's something that is missing. Last time we saw two stunners on tier 0. What happened? We still have two characters in tier in stunner tier 0, but someone is missing. It's Chingy. What happened to Chingy? Chingy goes down in the tier list. Look at that. We will see the changelog on the reason why they bring down Chingy. But I have a big suspicion that it's because of the value for electric stunners. Like, like Chingy versus Trigger. Who's more valuable? Do you want more buff? Or an on-field stunner that can give you support also, or a stunner that gives you a big support but will be in the field a long time, or like a very long time compared to other stunners. Naturally, especially in the game right now, we really need a stunner that is off field. We really need an off-field stunner. That's why Trigger is in tier 0, and also my suspicion why Chingy is down. Okay, Chingy mains, don't worry. It's just like how things works. Of course, Chingy is gonna go down. Nothing really changes. She's still one of the best stunner in the game. Let's be like, come on, it's just one place. Chingy mains don't cry, okay? It's not like he's on like Karumasa level. Though maybe in future like in the future like tier list she might. Is that foreshadowing? I don't know. But nothing really changes, still the same thing. These two are the only changes, Trigger and Shinji. Now let's look at meta characters. Oh, meta characters. Oh, there's actually like another changes on Stunner. Lycon goes down from tier 0.5 to tier 1. I think this is because of lack of ice character, and is not really being used that much lately, since like the shield defense favor electric and fire DPS, especially for chain attack and also aftershock days buff. Though I think it makes sense. I cannot really deny that Lycon is lacking a lot, especially since at first I'm planning to get Lycon. I even made a video about like, you should get Lycon on the 300 pulls 300 standard pulls, but in actuality I also regret getting Lycon because his performance, it's good, it's decent, but it's not tier 0.5 level. Though it makes sense that he's on tier 0 on the previous tier list because ice characters are dominating the game from the previous shield defense. They are like the ice characters are also brute forcing the end game for some unknown reason, even though they do, like Miyaba doesn't favor the whole shield defense. I feel like it's also because of like the boss from shield defense, which is Hugo, which has like a big freaking ice rest, which is crazy by the way. And you cannot even use Miyabi on it. You need to use a hyper carry Miyabi, which is gonna be using Nicole and Astra to at least clear 2 minutes and 30 seconds on like Miyabi with Hugo. Though I'm very sad that Polkra didn't really go up that much. Maybe the value is not that good. Still, Sag. No changes still on tier 0, tier 1. Nothing changes. Piper is still the same levels as Jane though, which is crazy to look at. Now let's look at the next one. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Harumasa mains are up now. Oh my god, they're up, guys. Wow. Harumasa mains are up now on from tier 0 to tier 1.5. Aren't you guys happy? Guys, are you guys happy? Harumasa mains, you should be happy now. Let's go. Now, since he has an expert tag, that means he's on tier 1 now, next to Zuyo 1 if you play him expertly. See? Look at that. Arumasa means you did it, guys. You did it. You guys won. Oh my god. Though Koleida didn't won. It makes sense also. Because honestly, even though I defend Koleida, even though I use Koleida, like with the release of Trigger, like some stunners will go down. It makes sense. And since Trigger's also very good with Evelyn, and yeah, if Lycon goes down, it doesn't make sense for Koleida next to Lycon, because Lycon gives a lot more than Kuleda, so yeah, it makes sense that he's on one. Kuleda is on 1.5, which is yeah. Yeah, we cannot really do anything about it. I do hope with like the new buff system for the new buff for Zenless Zero in season 2, I do hope they buff my girl Kuleda because she really has a buff. Like compared to other standard character that supports like standard and supports, Kuleda just lacking a lot. Just, like she's just lacking. It doesn't like gives that much value on like buff side. Though she debuff is not that good also. Next one, tier 2. Okay, Soldier 11 stayed there. And then, Anbi goes down too. So all the stunner really like go down one place after like triggers release, which is crazy. This is the power of like off field like stun, bro. This is the power of off field stun. You cannot defeat it. Nothing changed. Set is still there. Yeah, nothing changed on the niche characters. I do hope Billy is at least on tier 2 because we all know Billy is crazy. I actually tried Anton. Anton is fucking good. I feel like Anton deserves to be in tier 3. I'm gonna be very honest. Anton deserves to be in tier 3. And also Ben, just make Ben on the DPS like DPS column because we all know Ben deals a lot more damage than being a support. It just doesn't. I know it seems like I'm joking, but I'm really not. Like Ben's like damage is a big, and we cannot really. I mean, sure we can deny it, but I do hope like Ben at least go up one places. But yeah, this is a tier list. Nothing really I mean, actually, like the Chingyi one surprised me a lot, and the Harumasa going up. I thought Harumasa is gonna stay on tier 2, but hey, Harumasa means your praying works. Your prayers work. Okay, keep it up. Maybe Harumasa will be on tier 0 next time. Is that gonna happen, by the way? Alright. Now let's look at the change log on the reasons why Chingyi goes down and other characters goes down. Okay? And Harumasa goes up. Okay. First one, since we talk about Harumasa, first one is increasing Harumasa tier 2 to tier 1.5. Before I read this, I feel like Harumasa means are threatening Pridewin's life for like putting Harumasa on tier 2. Maybe that's the reason why they up like Harumasa's place. But you know what? Let's just see the reasonings. Based on the most recent performance and how players are playing him, Harumasa's baseline rating is too low compared to units she shares a tier with, and who are directly above him after the recent DPS category adjustment. We are raising his baseline rating to 1. Tier 1.5, and as a result of his expert rating will be tier 1, putting him equal footing with Zuiwan and Jando in the hands of experienced players. So that means, guys, okay, when you play Harumasa optimally, he will be in tier 1. But since this tier list is based on baseline rate, this is a baseline rating. Basically, this tier list is a baseline rating, okay? This tier list is a baseline rating. Like I said earlier, where we set the record straight, let's not look at the tier list as a like you freaking you did a hyper carry Harumasa or something, okay? No, we're gonna look at it as a baseline character and how they rate it. And they already said it like right here. And I feel like that's how they use the word optimal. The most favorable, basically the baseline. And what's the most favorable on Zenless Zero? Clearing the end game. Okay? So that's why like their baseline is gonna be like average clearing time or like average performance of character for like 8,000 players. But yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna be very honest, Harumasa deserves this. This is a very fair and thoughtful changes on Harumasa. I played Harumasa. I even like build him like literally a few hours ago. I build him up to F and then tried him on like Deadly Assault. He did a lot of damage. I tried him. Like I said, like last time, you really need a good understanding on how Harumasa plays and how you will use his rotations, like how Evelyn is. Like you need to be expert and learn how to manage his play style, and you need to be careful with like changes on like the especially on enemies and stuff. Okay, next one, like the very surprising one, Qingyi. Now Qingyi is in tier 0.5, our first character to get out of tier 0 in a very long time. However, enough time has passed and enough DPS has don't synergize particularly with her, as well as stronger stun. Agent's option has taken the spot she usually takes. Yep, like I said earlier, Trigger is just much better than Qingyi, so who are you gonna use in a electric team? Trigger, not Qingyi. Though you can use Trigger if you have her. That doesn't mean like Qingyi's value decreases. It just means that there's someone better than her. Basically, power grab, not really that much, but it's still, visible who's better, Qingyi versus Trigger. Don't get us wrong, it's not because Qingyi isn't tier 0, but by any account a bad agent. She retains big team flexibility, preference notably well in S0 and with teams more recently. Plus, she's still the most desirable with Harumas and Zuyuan over any stun option she's comfortably in. Tier 0, no question asked. However, Qingyi doesn't synergize with any top DPS agents any more than Silver Zero and B. Somewhat, Silver Zero and B has Trigger and Pulcra to outperform Qingyi in most cases anyway. Miyavi, Evelyn, Yanagi, Bernice don't make particular good use of her. That's all are tier 0, 0.5 DPS agent other than E0 and B who we already discussed, so we believe Qingyi move down to tier 0 is warranted. However, with her dropping down, a lot of stun agents will drop down as tier as well to illustrate how much more powerful Qingyi is done to them. This starts with, like I said earlier, since Qingyi goes down, like the other stuns needs to go down because we cannot compare Qingyi to Lycon. We cannot compare Lycon to Koleida, and of course we cannot compare Koleida with Anbi and stuff, And it makes sense. It makes sense because let's be honest. Let's be honest. Qingyi's value is now dropping down, like they said, since other DPS or like the current DPS is not really working for her other than S0 and B, though Silver Zero and B has Trigger, which is her best in slot, not really Qingyi. And Qingyi's value can only go up on tier if she has a current DPS that can utilize her buff and other stuff that Trigger cannot do. So it's just based on like basically who's better, Qingyi or Trigger, and decided that Trigger's better, so Qingyi's gonna go down and other stunners gonna go down. And yeah, I'm not gonna really look at this whole the whole stunner stuff because we all know the reason why they go down. Let's see this Pulcra. This is very interesting. Before receiving no changes in placement, we did consider her dropping down along with Koleida. However, M6 is very desirable. Yeah. Like I said, I don't wanna be biased. It makes sense, but I just like Pulcra, bro, and I feel like he deserves going up at least once. But now that they said that she doesn't really do much other than like giving big damage and giving debuff, and her M6 is just good. Yeah, it makes sense. I think no changes on her placements is very good decision, honestly. Let's see like the new character Trigger added on tier 0 stun. Trigger is the most impressive stun characters in the game has yet seen. Possibly the most impressive, makes sense. As universal support potential, I forgot to say this. Comparing Qingyi to Trigger is just comparing a moon to Earth. Moon and Earth is in different league to each other. The gap is big. Trigger is like universal. You can use Qingyi on like freaking Miyabi or anything, like any characters that doesn't synergize with her. But if we use Trigger replacement on like Miyabi and other characters that like odd team comps, Trigger can still excel, especially with her off-field capabilities, which is very needed, especially in the game right now. And like I said, she is now the third universal character in the game, which is crazy that we have 3 universal characters in the game right now. She has the universal support potential via 35% stun damage multiplier increase that has permanent uptime and operates off-field, which gives freedom to the bunch of DPS characters she can pair with. Not to mention her ease to use, possibly the easiest stun agent we had yet. Even without the vertical upgrades involved, Trigger is undoubtedly tier 0 because of her kit gives her a lot of team versatility, days, buffing potential, possibly the most of stun agent, which is impressive. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw like the video that I did about trigger, like building trigger in 1 hour. Like my trigger that time is very under leveled, but she can't keep up, especially on like the last stage of she defense when we tried her. And holy, even though she's under leveled, her value is still big. And now I have a fully built trigger. Her value just freaking crazy, bro. Like she's just OP as heck, man. And I think this is like one of the characters that, yeah, even though she's OP, I feel like I'm gonna use her. It's not like other universal like characters like Caesar, where see, like I have this thing where if a character is too OP or broken, I'm not gonna use them, like Caesar and Miyabi. But Trigger doesn't have that feeling for me, even though she's too OP and like universal. I compare her to Astra, where I can still use her. She does, it doesn't get boring using her, basically, like Astra and Tig. So I really like these changes. I really like, to be honest, this whole changes is fair. I feel like there will be no a drama this time, right, guys? Are you guys gonna have drama in this whole tier list again? I do hope not, because honestly, I feel like this whole tier list is more fair than ever now. Okay, I feel like this is more fair than ever. Okay, I don't know about this, but still, I feel like this whole tier list is still fair. Fuck you, Set. Set means fuck you. I don't care. Like, Set's value just go down the ditch, because his value just doesn't make sense. Even though with his anomaly build up rate, like there's a lot of characters already that has a good build up rate without using Set, and would rather use a other support that can increase the damage than the anomaly build up. Okay, Set means like just stay there and sit like a good kitty cat. Okay, just sit there and chill. I'm not gonna listen to your yappers and stuff. I don't care. I like Set too, by the way. I still use Set, but I know Set sucks ass. But he's like, compares Set to Sokaku. Sokaku is still bearable because of like Sokaku's long freaking buff. Okay, you only need to do like the long animation, and you can basically have big freedom after that. But Set is just damn Set. Damn. That's all I want to talk today. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope this is not gonna cause any drama. Though, I feel like it's gonna cause some war from Harubasa Mains, because I'm, slandering them. But hey, congrats Harubasa Mains. You guys successfully threatened Pride when to make Harumasa go up places. That's a big achievement, guys. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna make also videos about like the Shiyu and Deadly Assault stats from Pride One, since they just did it like yesterday, I think. I'm gonna do it too. Make sure you wait on that video, and also watch the pooling opinion video that I'm gonna do soon. This video is just, a video I wanna make while I edit that video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye bye.